Hey guys, it's me, Hinomaru. Today we're going to be doing a top 10 SF2 map list. Possibly the best 10 maps that exist currently in SF2. Remind you, this can be outdated at a certain amount of time, and these are just my opinions, but I try to be factual about why I pick my opinions. Anyway, let's get started with this wonderful selection of maps I picked. Sorry, let's just get started on this. Alright, so for our 10th spot on the list, Frost Run, the original version, or Frost Cave as I call it now. Basically why I have this map so low on the list is because even though it's kinda better than the facility from what I believe, I guess, I don't know, because it's more darker and enclosed and stuff and it's kinda bigger, it's really more or less not too scary. There's also an issue with the lighting in that map and where it's blocky, which I don't like. It also feels like it can be cramping, like I said, too enclosed. It can be a bit confusing on where to go sometimes. There's really no signs to tell you where to go. The nave mesh can be a little shitty if you build it on the map, but otherwise it's an okay map. I think it's pretty good for something that should have been a cave instead of a facility. Anyway, let's go on to our 9th spot on the list. Alright, so now onto our 9th spot of the list, we have Abyss. And I'm talking about the final version of Abyss, mind you. So this is basically a revival of the mine that was closed down in Slender the Arrival. Basically almost a perfect recreation of it. The reason I've put it 9th above Frost Cave is because it's a bit more scarier ambient-wise and it allows for more open room. There are a few problems I have with it, and don't take this seriously, anyone. These are opinions. I just try to be factual about why I picked them. So, there's really an issue with me and I have with chasers on this map. Chasing can be pretty dragging, mainly because of the long hallways, and sometimes it does feel like it's really cramped or confusing. There used to be a lot of bugs with it, but it's otherwise fixed now. Otherwise, I just find it a pretty decent map. I mean, it's kind of scarier than Frost Cave ambient-wise. Alright, let's go on to our 8th spot of the list. Alright, so on to our 8th list. This is where I kind of get a bit interesting. So anyway, here's Hospice. The reason I like Hospice a lot really is because of the way it's kind of big, not so more cramped, it's just bigger, and I find it more scary than Abyss, mainly because of the, I don't know, it's just the way the lighting probably is. I mean, it's like, I just sometimes don't like how big maps are. They just are less scarier because you kind of imagine things to be more easy to see. Anyway, I like Hospice because of its music more like it. Its blue spawn is okay, but I find it just more ambient than the last two maps previously discussed. This list is more or less about ambience wise, because that's what makes a lot of things more scary. Anyway, let's go on to our next spot on the list, 7th. Alright, so on to the 7th spot, Swarm. Swarm, I got picked on the list mainly because of its music, its ambience, and its size. Its size is considerably big. Sorry, I can't say right. It's big for a map, TF2 wise. Its ambience is more or less action-packed. It also is the first type of its map to have mission-based areas, meaning you have to find something in order to unlock the next area. So that's pretty cool. The music was gotten from somewhere called Under Hell Stuff. I think that's actually from a Sourcemon game, but the music is pretty good wise for the map. I think it fits a lot. This map is designed for hit and run bosses, even though it's more or less designed for action-packed chaser bosses. Really, I don't get what happened with that, but that's not really of an issue. These are just the reasons why I put it 7th above the other two. Anyway, let's move on to the next part. Alright guys, now on to the 6th spot, Containment Breach. Containment Breach is based off the game SCP Containment Breach, where you are looking to escape through 2 gates by finding items, collecting stuff, avoiding SCPs, etc. Keto class mostly. This is a good representation where you have to fight 2 SCPs and a bunch of MTF guards after you, mainly Nine-Tailed Fox. The 2 SCPs you're looking out for are SCP-173 and SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. There's also an SCP-106, but that's 2 traps that are in the map, so it's not that big of a deal. The map itself has a fog thing so that you can barely see in front of you, which I think makes it more scary. The map also has the first doors openable in any Slender Fortress map that I know of, so that's a pretty good feature. The map has 2 to 3 cutscenes, if I remember correctly, where you talk to SCP-035, the mask, and let it out. Or you can also choose, you also have to give the key cards to SCP-079 to open the one of 2 gates. Anyway, I find this map really good, feature-wise. Anyway, let's move on to our 5th part. So, on to our 5th spot, Ward, or 6th spot, if you want to be a bitch. So anyway, Ward was a pretty hard choice. I kind of don't find it too scary. It's more or less music-wise and ambient-wise. It makes it more harder, plus Traeger's pretty fast and persistent. Ward is known to have really loud music, just like Abandoned, which makes it harder to hear Traeger. So that's what makes the map more hard, or hard. Whatever, don't make witty jokes. So anyway, I like this map a lot, mostly because of music and ambience wise. I also like the way lighting was set up for the map too. It's a pretty good map overall. I don't think it's top, but I think it's really good enough for a survival map. And also, reminds me of Outlast a lot, you know? If only we had those views for bosses and cameras and everything, maybe it would become even more better on my list. Anyway, let's move on. Alright, so onto our 4th spot, Townsend. Townsend is a very old map, made by Globable, if I remember correctly. It's basically a dark town, and where there's a couple of houses. Everything is broken. There's a campsite-like forest. Reasons for why I put this map so high is because it's really dark. It's ambient-wise scary for me, at least, and the cans can be actually pretty hard to find. Rarely have I played on Walter's server to the point where we actually won against this map, but really you just have to increase the light radius on this, so that should be fine. Anyway, I just rate this map pretty high because of its darkness and scary factor in when you're hiding and looking for the cans difficulty. Anyway, let's move on to our 3rd spot on the list. This is where things get a bit interesting. Alright, so you guys are probably gonna be like, I wonder what the 3rd one is. You probably listed it in the fucking description. Yes, I put Swamp. Swamp is my 3rd favorite freaking map. You know why it's my 3rd favorite map? Simple. It's big, it's not enclosed, it's hard to outrun shit in this map. The bus exploit is fixed. Slender music, really, though, that's not too good for any map. And Shrek. Yeah, Shrek is love, Shrek is life. I mean, Come on, it's Shrek, MLG Dank, Dunk, whatever. I'll wreck you. So anyway, really, also the skybox is pretty cool. Anyway, those are really my reasons. You know, there's not much to describe about this map, really. It's just big, okay ambience, pretty bright. Anyway, let's move on to our second list. Spot, sorry. Alright, so on to our second spot. This one was a bit hard to choose from Ward. I picked Abandoned, mainly because it had one of my top 10 hardest bosses I believe were the hardest in SF2. Chris Walker. Yes. This map goes perfectly with him. The loud music, the ambience, the scary factor, the darkness, and Chris Walker all packaged into one simple, scary Russian map. As far as I know, that's what it's based on. I don't know. But anyway, this map gives you that scare factor. You're looking for a can out of millions of empty gas cans. And once you find it, you have to wait 3.5 minutes for a dysfunctioning elevator to open up. It can be pretty scary running away from a fat weirdo with hands and chains around his arms. Everything else. Let's get on to our number one spot, and then we can all go home and watch porn. You know what I mean? Whatever. Anyway, let's go to the first spot. Alright guys, for our number one spot on the very list. Arizona. Yes, this map just beats you know what? Nope, I hate Arizona. No, why would I put it on number one? Nope. No. You know what my guys' number one map is, really? You know what I think is the best map that's ever been created for this game mode so far? Currently? Yes, you guessed it. Metro, or otherwise known as Underground. Underground is a map based in a abandoned subway full of toxic, mutated creatures depending on what round you play on. It captures the ambience perfectly. The scare factor is very nice. It's dark everywhere. There's random events to make it feel like the place is haunted. People dying and screaming in the background. Dysfunction. Tunnels full of crumbling rubble. Darkness sifting through the windows. It's pretty scary, man. You gotta play this map. There are 110 possible places that the pages, or otherwise known as cables, can spawn at. This map just captures the ambience perfectly, made by 4 people that can perfectly make a map. I'd rather have a map that would take several months to complete, finish, and completely fix than just a month that could take a map that could take. Sorry, I'm stuttering over this sexy map. It's just beautiful. It's the most scariest map I've ever played. I'm not biasing it. It just captures that essence perfectly. I hope you enjoyed this. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this top 10 map list. These are my opinions on why I think these maps are the best for Slender Fortress ever created. These are factually evidently based, but these are really just opinions. Everyone has maps they like. I just don't like some maps. I am very difficult with explaining why I like my maps, but not my maps, you know, the maps that are on this list. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. You know, I may have done it worse than my other video, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this. See you in the next video.